welcome in everyone to the Mike Mincey Show, joined by the head coach of the Carson-Newman Lady Eagles, Mike Mincey. I'm Roger Hoover, and Coach, 2 wins in a row. Your basketball team playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy to get those 2 games, certainly get the win against Newberry and then go on the road. And in the past few years, we've struggled on the road at Mars Hill for whatever reason, and we're kind of headed that way to start the second half to struggle again. But I was really proud of the way our team responded and made that run with about 14 minutes to go to get us a lead and certainly get that lead up above 20 and one that we could hold on to as we went down the stretch.
The first win Carson-Newman had during this week was against Newberry on Saturday here inside Holt Fieldhouse, and really one of the more complete games we've seen from your team, especially on a defensive level.
Yeah, as coaches, we've been on them pretty hard about defensive deficiencies that we have and where we're making mistakes. But then I look back on it and I'm like, well, we gave up 55 to Tusculum and 39 to Newberry and 49 to Mars Hill. So anytime you're doing that, if you can score at any percentage or any clip, you should be able to win basketball games, and certainly we've won 2 of those 3. But we thought coming in that we had a pretty good defensive basketball team with the athletes that we have, and they're certainly showing that we can defend. And I was really proud of our post players holding Lapeo to 8 points below her average, and then you had Booker at Mars Hill that they held 10 points below their average. So credit to them for doing a good job, and they've really worked together to guard 2 of the best post players in our league.
What do you think has changed for some of Carson-Newman's post players like Nikki James, Courtney Miles over this last stretch, playing up against some really good post players from around the conference?
That's a really good question. I think that I think a lot of times when you're playing against people that you know are good and that you're going to have to really step up and play your best, I think that brings the best out of you. And one thing for them, I think they've been really physical with the post players that they've had to go up against, knowing that if they weren't, they were going to get abused and get scored on. And so I think their physicalness and Courtney and Nikki and even Shira, those being the 3 main players that play at the post, and then even Haley came in there at Mars Hill, and they were really physical with their post players, and that's what you got to do in this league if you're going to be successful.
And both of the wins for Carson-Newman this week, the last 3 minutes of the games or so, you're able to really empty the bench, get a lot of players, some underclassmen on the court who haven't been on the court as much. How enjoyable is that for you to allow them to get this experience in conference play?
Well, it's always nice to get everybody in the game, and I think from top to bottom we have really skilled players, and all of them, in one regard or another, probably has a reason that they feel like they should be on the floor getting playing time. We can't really play 13 players, and against Mars Hill the other night we played, I believe it was 11 players, double-figure minutes or more, and that was in the heat of the action, and certainly getting everybody in the game is good. I would like to be able to potentially push it to where we could get them in there a little bit more, so that because they need that experience. Even the ones that aren't going in until the end of the game, they need that experience because they're going to be major players for us in the future. And anytime we can get them experience, it's only going to help us for the future.
And now for Carson-Newman this week, a trip to Anderson on Saturday, then coming back home to Holt Fieldhouse on Wednesday to take on LMU. Once again, 2 very talented teams you have to face this week. First, the Anderson Trojans.
Yeah, Anderson, they returned all those players from last year, and they've been playing together for quite a while now, and they're seniors, and they have really good players. Lisa Diaz, number 4, is one of the best in the league, and then Brianna Shannon, number 25. They're both all preseason SAC selections, and so as I always say in our league, we have our work cut out for us, and when we're going on the road, it's always tough to go and get a W. And Anderson throws a lot of different things at you, both defensively and offensively, and hopefully our kids are prepared and they've stayed focused in what we've tried to get them prepared for. So hopefully we can go down there tomorrow and play our best and play hard and try and get a W.
And then coming up on Wednesday, a very good LMU team coming in here for what should be the most anticipated doubleheader of the season in women's and men's basketball.
Yeah, and it always is with our Tusculum game and with our LMU game. I mean, it's a rival game with their proximity to us and with them being Northeast Tennessee schools. And I always enjoy that battle that we have here, and our games with LMU is always tight and always tough. And so we look forward to that. We just got to get past this Anderson game first, and we need to get a W to keep us up at the top of the standings, or to keep up with LR, who's right now first in the league, and then we get that LMU game on Wednesday, which gets us back at home where we certainly play our best, as most teams do, and so we'll look forward to that once we hopefully can get that W at Anderson on tomorrow, and then we'll face LMU on Wednesday, which is a very talented team coming in here.
Well, this wraps up the first part of the Mike Mincey Show. Coming up next, Coach will sit down with Nikki James, Carson-Newman's outstanding post player. That's up next on the Mike Mincey Show.
Welcome back to the Mike Mincey Show. I'm Mike Mincey interviewing Nikki James, fifth-year senior, volleyball, basketball player from Cookeville, Tennessee. And Nikki, have you enjoyed coming back and this being your second year of basketball after playing 4 years of volleyball?
It's been good. Last year was a year for me to just get back in the groove of things and get used to a new team and new coach and everything. But this year I think I've been able to do more for the team and I don't know, be more coachable, I guess, and just more team-oriented. And
now, Nikki, this is going to be an important question. Certainly in volleyball, you were all-region, I suppose, and you led the nation in blocks a couple of different years. Which sport, and I know you played a lot of basketball when you were in high school at Cookeville, but which sport did you prefer?
Basketball.
Okay, she knows how to answer the question correctly. Let me ask you about our team this year. What kind of chemistry do you think we have right now going into the home stretch of our conference season?
I think our chemistry is great. I don't think it's peaked yet. I believe that the preseason, we were just used to getting familiar with each other and spending so much time together. But now, we're all hanging out off the court, which helps on the court chemistry. So I think it's good, and it can only improve from here.
Well, let me ask you a really important question, and this answer is going to be yes, but do you feel like that we have the pieces of the puzzle from the coaching staff to the players to be able to win a conference championship, either regular season or in the tournament?
I do, absolutely. I also think, as I mentioned before, we haven't peaked yet, and I think we're going to peak at the right time this year, and that'll be really good for us.
All right. Well, that's Nikki James, fifth-year senior from Cookeville, Tennessee, joining us on the Mike Mincey Show. And Nikki is our Carson-Newman Women's Basketball Spotlight Athlete of the Week.